This is Jonathan Angle, fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by promoter Kalle Sauerland here at the first press conference of the rematch. Liam Smith, Smith-Eubank 2 goes down June 17th in Manchester. Kalle, we're here again.
And it's billed Revenge or Revenge, which is quite an interesting title for the rematch.
Revenge in your mind, maybe not for Liam Smith.
I don't know the other word. I just know Revenge or Revenge, live on Sky Box Office, June 17th from the Manchester Arena.
That's it. We're done. The interview's over. That's obviously, fans were wondering which way this was going to go. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke to you and you said you were quite flirting with the idea of a Conor Benn fight. How close did that get, the Conor Benn Smith-Eubank fight?
It remained a flirt. Not really much since I made those comments. It remained a flirt. It's a fight I still think will happen. But, you know, Junior's made it very clear he's got business to take care of. It's payback time.
So, from the conversations you had with Chris before this fight was made official, was he umming and ahhing, or did he say, no, I want the Smith rematch?
Yeah, you know, we have a business, or business. We have a relationship where I go out and take care of business. I present what's available. There wasn't much to present on side of the let's say call it the flirt with the Conor Benn situation. So, you know, I let him focus on his rematch, which he ultimately almost activated himself, didn't he, on Valentine's Day? That's not quite the way an activation goes in terms of contracts, but you know, I was away somewhere, I can't remember, and someone said, "Oh, have you seen what Eubank's put out?" And I'm like, "Oh, what have you done?" but no, that's the way he works, and that's cool. And from that, you can also see how much he wants this rematch.
In terms of obviously the Benn fight, Eddie Hearn said last week that the money for the Smith fight is poor compared to the Benn fight. Is that accurate?
You know, I mean, right, we didn't get past the flirt, so, you know, Middle East fights are always obviously tagged with those big numbers, but you know, we have to. I'm not going to talk too much about business. It's about boxing today, and like I said, it's about him, Junior, wanting to put that wrong right.
People are saying almost immediately that if Chris doesn't win this fight, that his career's over. There's nowhere really to go. Would you go along with that?
First of all, we're not going to lose. But you lose twice to the same man. It's not quite like getting beat up by the whole division, is it? You know, sometimes people have got your number, but we're not talking anything but victory. Like I said, it's not repeat or revenge. It's revenge or revenge.
So, in terms of Chris being successful in this fight, in your opinion, how does he do it? What does he have to do differently that he didn't do in the first fight?
I think fight, really, forget boxing, fight, go in there, do what he does, throw absolute bunches of punches, and storm him. You know, that's what he's done best. But hey, he'll have his game plan. You know, but that's where Eubank is his best.
And let's talk about some of other Wasserman business. Josh Kelly, I asked you a few weeks ago, you said something big's coming. How close are we to announcing who you're looking at?
He'll be out in June. Yeah, so it's a big June for us. Hopefully next week something being announced. Yeah, I don't want to put myself under too much pressure. We've got to get the right opponent. We've got what we think is the right venue locked down, and looking forward to seeing Josh back in the ring. For me, by the way, when you look at this fight and you know the talks of Conor Benn, Kell Brook, I know that's not Josh's natural weight right now, but I do see Josh Kelly featuring amongst those names in the very, very near future. If you look at, you know, Josh would fight all of them today as well. You know, so I think he's going to play a big role in, let's call it that sort of Super 5, Super 6. You know, I love a Super Series and a Super 6, so I've got to use the word Super. But you do sort of have that dimension on these shores of, you know, Smith-Eubank, Liam Smith, Kell Brook, Conor Benn. You know, and I think Josh Kelly certainly could could fit in there in the future. I know it's not middleweight, but some of the other guys as well. Conor Benn's certainly not a natural middleweight. Smith is now. He's also come up, and also Kell Brook. But around that weight, there's some very interesting fights to be made.
And what are you looking at for Lyndon Arthur?
Lyndon suffered a cut in the last fight, so we've been put back a bit on that. But no, he's mandated to fight the World Championship, the IBO World Championship next, light heavyweight. So that's what's next for him, yeah.
And then in a couple of weeks, the madness returns with KSI Fournier looking like
madness,
in a good way. I love the misfits.
You're going to be only referring to the misfits. We return with an absolute banger of a card in that space. You've got KSI, Joe Fournier, Deji Swarms, Salt Pappy, the man. Many are tipping to turn over to the traditional pro side. Taking on Anthony Taylor, so it's sort of almost three big main events. But I mean, can't look past KSI, Joe Fournier. So much at stake there. Going to be very interesting.
Did the way the Chase Demorphite ended the other night, did that put into question a bit some of I don't want to say credibility, but the referee was kind of explaining the rules to him and things like that?
Well, first of all, it was done under the pro commission of the state. Yeah. So when I did Regis Progress there a few years ago in New Orleans as well, it was the same referees, the same state, etc., etc. Actually, the referee would have come at the time from the WBA, but there were the local pro officials. Should he have jumped on him earlier to stop it? Absolutely. Can I say that referee shouldn't have been there? No, it was the state. It wasn't a misfits official or something. It was the commission's guy, and he made a big mistake. But let's not look past the referee. Let's not put too much blame on the referee. Chase Demore will be punished very heavily for that. That's something that Misfits is about a bit of wildness outside the ring, but it's certainly when it's in the ring, it's absolutely strict as any pro fight. That's something that's simply unacceptable. I've seen fighters hit fighters when they're down. We all have, but not in that way. And even if they were, as he put it, soft to punch it, I don't ever heard so much ridiculous in my life. And it was horrible to see, and it will be punished very, very heavily with a ban.
Final two questions. Obviously, we saw Nate Diaz police put out a warrant for his arrest. People are wondering now if that Jake Paul fight goes ahead. Obviously, we saw what KSI said yesterday. Has KSI spoken to you or Mams and said, let's go?
I mean, it's the fight he wants, but I don't know what would change. We were in discussions for 4 months about that fight, and then he lost to Tommy Fury, and then he said, no, we're going to move on with Nate Diaz now. And we're like, hold on, we've done contracts, everything else, so why would he suddenly take it now just because Nate Diaz wouldn't become available? I don't know. Is Nate Diaz unavailable? I'm not sure. I wasn't there for the incident later in the evening. Obviously, I sat next to him at the ring when he threw the bottle. Not a good thing. But what happened later in the evening, of course, was much more serious.
Final question. We saw Tank and Ryan Garcia Saturday night. Obviously, Garcia didn't get up from that body shot. Tony Bellew feels that he could have got up and he, quote, spewed it. What do you think?
I think Tony's a bigger man, and he has a bit more flesh to get through to feel those punches. So Tony's probably hasn't felt a body shot quite like that one. But no, if you look at it, I must admit, I'm with Tony when I watched the fight. Even on the first replays, I was like, Mexicans don't normally quit after the first body shot, at least. I would say, if you look at that punch, it's ferocious. And Tank, for me, what does he throw? 8 punches around or something ridiculous? They're all heat seekers. They're all missiles, and the way he punches from the angle, but then also that little twist he puts in at the end when it's landed. He twists the hand almost into him. It's it is force. I mean, the force is unreal. So I'm going to say, look, Ryan's a young man. He'll come back, and the sport needs people like Ryan, you know, and people like Tank, you know. So from that point of view, I think was okay, and I'm sure he'll be back.
Kalle Sauerland, thanks for your time. Speaking to pro boxing fans, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for Misfits 7.
Absolutely.